Quick little video for y'all. I'm over here in our blackberries. Today we just went through and topped the new canes. So these canes were all like 6-8 feet tall, and we came through, and some of them we had to cut, as you can see here. Sometimes you can get by breaking them, like this one right here got missed. We'd like to break them off the top of the wire. Ideally, you want to break them instead of cutting them. But you can see I just pinched the top out of it. What that does is, it's kind of the reverse of what we do on tomatoes. You know, on tomatoes we go through and we take the suckers off. And you'll see here, here's an excellent example. Blackberries have suckers too. Like right there is what we'll call a sucker. Right there's one that's getting pretty good size. We don't want 10, 12, 15 foot tall or long as they will get blackberries. We want them to be short, and we want them to branch. Kind of like you do with a grapevine. You run it down the wire to a certain length, you break the tip off so that it branches and creates more clusters of grapes. Same idea here. So we go through, I hope the wind noise isn't too bad in this video. We go through and we top these blackberries. Hopefully we get them on time. Sometimes we get behind and don't, but we top them, and that makes side runners come out, and that's what creates a bush instead of a long spindly vine that falls over and breaks off. These blackberries have been getting watered the same amount as the produce and the strawberries, but every time the pump's running, everything over here is getting watered. But I couldn't tell you the last time we had a measurable rainfall. And blackberries are, they consume a lot of water. They need a ton of water. And being where they are, they tend to kind of get neglected a little bit because this is the very end of the line. I just uncapped the end of the manifold and blew a bunch of mud out of it that had built up. Even with good sand filters or disc filters, you're still going to have some silt and residue that builds up in your lines. But I'm still not getting sufficient water. You can see here, we had to replace our drip line because mice like to chew on it. And our new drip line, let me spin this around. Our new drip line, as you can see, is running on top of the bed, which is not a problem because this is landscaping fabric, or like nursery fabric, and it's permeable. So the water, you can see the water's, it'll seep through it. But we're just dry as a powder box. I mean, it's ridiculous how dry we are. And with this system, I'm not getting enough water to them. So I'm gonna try something here. Maybe crazy, it may not work, I don't know. And it may not get the volume we need. Oh, it looks like we're going to. I'm gonna uncap all these drip lines. And as you can see where we laid the plastic, there's just a little bit of a furrow down each side of the plastic beds. So I'm gonna go through, and if we got enough water pressure over here, like I say, it's the end of the line, so water pressure suffers over here, and that may be part of the reason why they're not getting enough water. But I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna uncap all these drip tapes, and it's just ever so slightly downhill back that way. I'm gonna uncap all these and let the water run until hopefully it will run all the way to the end. And by the time it runs that far, we should have at least one side of the bed really saturated. It's running pretty good. I've only got one uncapped at the moment. I'm gonna uncap them all and see if my plan's gonna work here. It'll take a while. So I got them all uncapped, and not much, but I am still getting flow here at the end, and I kind of got that kinked up a little bit. But I was afraid when I uncapped them all that it would kill the pressure so much that I would lose flow on some of my lines. But I want to show y'all, well, right here's a good example of what I was talking about, where we laid the plastic. There's a little bit of a furrow down through here for the water to run down. Didn't plan it that way, but I think it's going to work well. And let me show you the one I started with. This is the first row that I opened the end of. Check this out. This just might work, as crazy as it seems. It's only made it 5 foot, but it's only been 10 minutes. So if I can get water to run the length of this furrow, that is really gonna, the ground's really gonna be soaked pretty well. I may come back tomorrow and move it to the other side and run it down the other furrow and try to saturate that, because right now for us is a very critical time. These berries need a ton of water if they're going to have any size to them. We're not trying to grow blackberries the size of wild blackberries. We want blackberries the size of my thumb. And you can see they've got a long way to go. No rain in sight. No rain in sight behind us. So we've got to do it artificially. I wish that we had the volume of water or enough pipe in order to set up sprinklers over here, because I've got sprinklers for my aluminum pipe that have enough range that I could water from one side of this block to the other, and I've got enough aluminum pipe to run down from one end to the other, and we could easily overhead water this, and that would by far be the most efficient way to do it. But we would need to be able to get 50-60 pounds of water over here in a 4-inch pipe, which could be done through the culvert under the road, but I would need about 3 times as much aluminum pipe as I've got. Our John Deere 4440 is sitting down there on the creek, and y'all probably can't hear it over the wind blowing. I can just barely hear it. It is, as the crow flies, a solid 1,500 foot from here to where the tractor's at. So that would be a pretty tall order, and we just don't have enough pipe to make that happen. But it looks like this is going to work. It's just going to be slow. But I just thought I'd give y'all a little update on our blackberries and let you show you how we take care of them as far as pruning and water. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time.